Alright, now you all know how to remove the wheel from the bike frame. In this segment, we're going to teach you how to actually fix the flat tire. Now briefly, we're just going to show you some tools that are necessary for doing that. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that we want to do is remove the tire, that's this part where the rubber hits the road, from the rim, this silver part over here. We're going to use a tire lever to do that. Just want to show you the tire lever briefly. It has this particular hook on it. We're going to use that to pry up the tire. And on the back, it actually has this clip that we're going to use to hook into the spoke to hold it in place. The easiest place to start is going to be the side opposite the stem, down here. It'll make the process much easier. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to pinch the tire back. Notice right here this strip. This is the bead of the tire, right along here. We want to take the tire lever and we want to come under the bead. We're going to want to pull this over. I'm going to move this down a little bit to get it in line with the spoke that is opposite the bead, or opposite the stem. From there, we want to take another tire lever, and it is going to be kind of hard at first. You really kind of have to get in there, and then just pull to the side, continue to expose the bead. And after a while it does get easier. You're going to want to take this and go all the way around, and if your tire is really tight, you may use a third lever and just kind of pry them both open like that. That's a good tip too. So now you've released the bead from the rim all the way around the tire. The next step is going to be to release the tube from the tire. To do this, we just want to go ahead and pull this open, pull out the tube, and we want to go ahead and pull this out all the way around until we get to the stem down here. We'll work that out on both sides. Now that you've worked the tube on both sides to the stem, we want to move the tire just enough so that we can release the tube from the rim. You're going to want to make sure to keep the tire as close to where it is. It's going to make things a lot easier when we put everything back together, so try not to move that off. So we'll go ahead and take this out. So we have the tube out. Now we're going to see if we can find the leak. I'll show you how to find the leak on the tube. Now this is a demonstration. We're going to use a floor pump here. Ideally, if you're on the road, you'll have one of the smaller pumps. I think I showed an example earlier that'll be with you on your bike, but just to show you how to get it done, we're going to use the floor pump. We're going to go ahead and inflate the tube just a little bit. Pump it up and get a little bit of air in there. At this point, what we would do is just kind of feel along here and listen. See if you can hear where the air is coming out, where the leak is. It'll make a hissing sound. or if you can feel it, or if you can see it and identify where that is. Again, this is just a demonstration. This tube doesn't actually have a flat. I can show you where we've patched it before. So it has been patched. In the event that we do find a leak, we are going to want to patch that up. So to do that, we're going to want to use our patch kit that we've got here. And that'll help us along. This is one of many brands that you can use. Inside the patch kit, we're going to have this component. That's what we're going to want to take out first. At this point, you want to deflate the tube completely. So we're just going to go ahead and let the rest of that air out. And then we're just going to want to rough up that part that has the leak. So just in that general area where the leak is, just rub it and rough it up a little bit with this component. When that's done, you can see this cement's pretty well used. We'd actually take the cement and we'd put it on there and we would apply it to the general area where we've roughed up. And then we just want to leave that for a few minutes, let it kind of dry, do its thing. When that's done, we'll actually take one of these patches, move that over to the side here. We'll take one of these patches and we'll go ahead and apply it where the cement is. And once this is applied, we'll actually just press it down, hold it, and then let that sit for a few minutes and have that ready. So after this is set for a few minutes, the patch is on there, really nice and solid. It's time to go ahead and work on getting the tube back in. Before we do that, we want to go ahead and line this back up. We're going to go to where the hole in the rim is, where our stem's coming out. We're going to line this here. Just turn this around for you to look at. Our patch is there, and we're going to want to take a look at the tire to make sure that the tire doesn't have a hole or any glass or something that caused the flat and could potentially cause other flats before we get going. Probably a good idea to look on the outside, maybe examine the inside. For this demonstration, it's good to go. We're going to act like we've checked all that. And we're going to go ahead and start putting the tube back into the rim. Okay, so the place to start is to start by putting the stem back right here where it fits the rim. And from there, we just want to start tucking the tube back between the rim and the tire. And we just want to do that all the way around. Now that we have the tube between the tire and the rim, we're going to put the bead back on the other side of the rim. The best place to start, because it's the hardest place to get started, is going to be right where the stem is. So we're going to go ahead and tuck that in. Now, again, it's a little tricky. So one trick is to take the stem and kind of wiggle that back in. To put the bead back in place, we want the bead not showing like this, and we want to do that all the way around. So real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and pinch it back. And it is fairly easy until you get to a point when things start to get kind of tight. Right about there. That's when our tire levers are going to come in handy again. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the tire lever, and this time you're going to want to put it on the inside of the rim. And that'll help us tuck that tire back in. And put the bead back into place. Okay. So the bead is in. At this point, we're going to want to put a little bit of air into the tire. Just going to go back to where the stem is. Hook up the floor pump. And we don't need to take a whole lot. Then you're just going to want to look around the wheel and make sure that the bead is all the way in. This is also a good time to check to make sure that there aren't any lumps or anything that might be going on with the tube there as well. And if everything looks okay at that point, you can go ahead and pump the tire back up to its recommended pressure. Now we have the tire fully inflated. What I'd like you to do at this point is practice what we just went over. That includes releasing the tire from the rim, removing the tube from the tire, checking the tube for any leaks, practice using the patch kit to repair any leaks, and from there just put it all back together.